Eliza, a bright-eyed, adventurous little girl, had already experienced more love and wonder in her short 6 years than most children do in a lifetime. Raised in a peaceful village, she seemed destined for a simple, happy life. Everything changed when her sailor father returned from a voyage with an unexpected gift, a tiny magpie chick. This lively little bird taught Eliza the true meaning of responsibility, and an incredible bond blossomed between them. But one day, tragedy struck, and Eliza was lost in the blink of an eye. During her funeral, something incredible occurred. A magpie, the very one she'd raised, perched on her coffin, and in that moment, something extraordinary unfolded. How did the magpie, with its strange behavior, bring about a miraculous turn of events? Stay tuned for today's video on Animal Need Love and find out more. In a quaint village in the English countryside, a lively girl named Eliza thrived. Full of energy from dawn to dusk, she lived in a charming cottage surrounded by lush gardens. Eliza loved exploring nature, often chasing butterflies and collecting pebbles by the stream in her garden. Though Eliza spent much of her time outdoors, she was never alone. Her mother, a kind and patient woman, was always nearby, tending to the house and ensuring that Eliza's every need was met. She was a gentle soul who loved her daughter dearly, and the two shared a close bond. But it was Eliza's father who brought the most excitement to her life. He was a sailor, often away at sea for weeks or even months at a time. Despite his absence, Eliza adored him. She would eagerly watch the horizon for any sign of his return, standing at the gate, peering down the road to see if his familiar figure would appear. When he did return, Eliza would run to him, her heart swelling with joy. She never knew what new surprises he might have brought her. A beautiful seashell from a tropical beach, a carved wooden elephant from Africa, or a mysterious trinket from a distant city. Each gift was more than just an object, it was a story from faraway places, and Eliza cherished everyone. At just 6 years old, Eliza had an old soul, wise and full of wonder. She loved exploring her garden and climbing trees for a better view. Strong and independent, she ventured out on her own, knowing her family would always be there. In this loving environment, she would grow up, unaware of the incredible journey ahead that would change her life forever. After being away for 2 long months at sea, Eliza's father finally returned home. When she saw him in the distance, Eliza could hardly contain her excitement. She ran to meet him, her small feet barely touching the ground as she dashed down the path. The moment she reached him, she threw her arms around him, feeling the warmth of his embrace and the comforting smell of the sea that lingered on his clothes. "I've brought you something very special, Eliza," he said softly, reaching into his coat pocket. Eliza tilted her head curiously. Her father opened his hand, revealing a tiny, trembling magpie chick. Its feathers were soft and dark, with striking white patches on its wings and tail that contrasted against the deep black of its body. The little bird's eyes gleamed with an intelligent glint, and it chirped quietly, its tiny beak opening and closing as it peered up at her. "This little one is for you," her father continued. "I want you to take care of him, protect him, and raise him as if he were your own, just like a child." Eliza stared at the tiny magpie in her father's hand, her heart racing with both excitement and a little bit of uncertainty. She had never taken care of a bird before, especially one so young. The magpie's glossy feathers and sharp beak made it seem both delicate and strong at the same time, and Eliza wasn't sure she was ready for the responsibility. At first, Eliza felt unsure. She had always loved animals, but a magpie was something different. She wasn't quite sure how to start, but as her father smiled at her, she felt a sense of pride rise in her chest. She could do this. She would take care of the little bird as her father asked. "Don't worry," her father said, as if reading her thoughts. "Just treat him with love and patience. He will learn, and so will you." As the days passed, Eliza cared for the magpie, Pip, with newfound devotion. She made him a cozy nest by the window and named him after her favorite story character. Pip, with his sleek black feathers and bold white markings, quickly became inseparable from her. Pip was a striking magpie, with sleek black feathers and bold white markings like a tuxedo. His intelligent eyes absorbed everything around him, and Eliza noticed his growing curiosity. Soon, Pip began mimicking her movements, hopping after her and chirping in an attempt to imitate her voice. Eliza spent hours with him every day, feeding him pieces of fruit, seeds, and even small bits of bread, watching in delight as he pecked at the food. The magpie quickly grew accustomed to her, hopping onto a shoulder or perching on her outstretched arm, always eager to follow her wherever she went. He was a natural at learning tricks, picking up small objects with his beak, and even learning to fly short distances around the house. As Pip grew stronger, Eliza took him outside to play in the garden. She would watch in awe as he stretched his wings and took his first flights. Pip never flew too far. He always returned to Eliza, landing softly on the grass beside her or hopping onto her shoulder to rest. The bond between Eliza and Pip deepened with each passing day. It was a peaceful afternoon when the unexpected happened. Today, Eliza wandered toward the small pond at the edge of the garden, the soothing sound of trickling water filling the air. Pip flew ahead, his wings beating gracefully as he landed on the fence. She knelt by the water to adjust the flowers that surrounded it, all while keeping an eye on her feathered friend. Suddenly, without warning, Eliza stopped what she was doing. She clutched her throat, her face contorting in panic. Pip, sensing something was terribly wrong, flapped his wings in distress and squawked loudly, flying toward her. Her body grew weak, and with one final, trembling breath, Eliza collapsed onto the grass, the world fading into darkness. Pip screamed in terror, hopping around her, trying to wake her up, but it was no use. He flew up into the air, then back down again, calling out loudly in a desperate bid for help. But it was too late. Eliza had fallen unconscious, her small form motionless on the ground. By the time her parents found her, she was already being rushed to the hospital, but despite their frantic efforts, Eliza was declared dead. The doctors were baffled. A healthy young girl with no prior health issues had suddenly stopped breathing. They believed it to be a case of severe asthma or some unknown cause, and despite their best efforts, Eliza's life couldn't be saved. Eliza's family, devastated by the sudden loss, arranged for a funeral. The small, peaceful village was filled with mourners, all gathered to pay their respects to the bright, lively girl they had lost so suddenly. Eliza's body, though still, looked almost peaceful, as if she had simply drifted off to sleep. Friends and family members stood quietly, wiping away tears as they passed by her open coffin to say their final goodbyes. Through all the grief, Pip was there, never leaving the family's side. He perched on a nearby tree, watching with his sharp eyes. As the funeral continued, the bird grew increasingly agitated. His usual calm demeanor was gone. Instead, he chirped loudly, flapping his wings as he circled overhead, trying to get the attention of the mourners. Then, in a bold move, Pip flew down to the coffin and landed on the edge. He hopped back and forth, his sharp beak tapping urgently at the wooden lid. At first, people had thought it was just the bird acting strangely, but as he pecked at the coffin, his behavior grew more intense. He wasn't just disturbing the mourners, he was trying to do something to communicate. Pip didn't stop. He pecked at Eliza's face, her lips, and even at the edges of her throat as though he was trying to wake her. The sight made some of the mourners uncomfortable, and whispers spread through the crowd. Was this bird disturbing the sanctity of the moment Or was there something deeper at play? Eliza's parents, heartbroken and confused, tried to shoo the bird away, waving their hands and shouting at him. But Pip didn't move. He continued his frantic efforts to get to her, to rouse her from the seemingly endless slumber. His actions were misinterpreted as disrespectful, but in reality, Pip was desperately trying to convey a message that no one understood. Just as her parents began to turn away from the coffin, a miraculous thing happened. Eliza, who had been lying motionless, suddenly twitched. Her chest heaved slightly, and then, with a sudden sharp cough, she expelled something small from her mouth. The crowd gasped as a tiny seed, no larger than a pebble, fell to the ground at her feet. Eliza's eyes fluttered open, and a soft, confused gasp escaped her lips. Slowly, she lifted her hand to her throat, still disoriented but clearly breathing once more. Her parents, frozen in disbelief, rushed to her side. Her mother whispered, "Eliza, you're alive!" Eliza looked up at them with dazed eyes, still trying to catch her breath. She was weak, but her pulse was steady, and she was breathing again. Her parents embraced her, their tears of sorrow transforming into tears of overwhelming joy. It was only after the doctors had reviewed the situation that they realized the true cause of Eliza's near death. While she had been lying under the tree, the apple she had been eating earlier had become lodged in her throat, blocking her airway. The doctors had never thought to check for a blockage, focusing only on her lungs and assuming she had suffered some kind of unexplained respiratory failure. But it was the magpie, Pip, who had noticed the problem. The bird had tried to get their attention, pecking at her lips and throat, trying to dislodge the obstruction. The magpie's relentless attempts to warn the family were the reason Eliza had been able to survive. He had been the one to notice that she wasn't truly gone, and through his persistence, he had saved her life. Eliza's eyes met Pip's as he perched on a nearby tree, his bright eyes watching her intently. She smiled weakly, understanding now the deep bond they shared. The bird had truly saved her, and that is the end of the story today. What would you do if you were in Eliza's shoes, or in Pip's? How would you react if a creature so small and unexpected could change the course of your life? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for sticking with us all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to turn on the bell and subscribe to our channel Animals Need Love so you never miss any of our new videos. Thank you for your support. Wishing you all peace, happiness, and a little bit of extra love today. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.